You know, it became apparent in early June that we were experiencing a much drier than normal spring here in Indiana. And as the month of June unfolded, it became clear increasingly that we were facing some pretty severe conditions.
You know, this drought mimics in my early career the 1983, 1988 droughts, but it was probably more severe than that.
It was pretty unprecedented compared to previous droughts and probably since 1988 as far as a recent drought.
Well, the drought of 2012 appears to be one of the most stressful since really the 1930s and during the Dust Bowl period. So we had, especially in my part of the state in western Indiana.
I don't think anyone suspected, you know, what we were going to encounter later down the road.
Well, the conditions varied as you moved around the Midwest and actually even varied quite a bit within the state of Indiana.
You have to look at different areas of the state, how bad it actually was. And within our county, there's a huge variation.
But in about 3/4 of the state, the yield reductions were quite significant.
Our forages suffered, our corn crop especially suffered in the area I work. We had farmers that were having to make decisions about, you know, do I go ahead and destroy the corn crop, or do I go ahead and try to harvest it and salvage it for cattle feed?
Most of the state was adversely impacted on corn yields.
By mid-July, everyone's starting to scramble, wondering where we're going to get hay.
In terms of the soybean world and getting hit hard with the drought, we had a lot of issues up front in the season. So in the end of May, beginning of June, there wasn't much growth above ground. And so a lot of upfront costs that we can't do anything about were affected through the drought.
From about June 1, we started anticipating this and we started gearing up to what are the possible problems and be able to react in a very quick manner.
Well, our area, we did host, and other programs were hosted around the state of Indiana as a response to the drought, and we had about 125 producers attend a program that our area agriculture educators sponsored.
Within Indiana, we still have that county-based system, and so we can have more hands on deck or more feet on the ground.
This group of producers that we dealt with from an extension perspective this year, you know, not very many of them had gone through the drought of 83 or 88. And so, you know, we had a lot of work to do to help those producers kind of weave their way through this, you know, event after event after event that took place.
During the growing season, our crops group would meet together bi-weekly, sometimes weekly, in the heat of the drought, literally, and discuss what's going on around the state, and so then we can address specific needs.
I think all of our extension specialists and our county extension staff have been asked by our traditional clientele, that would be the producers.
In our area, we did a lot of testing of corn to see if it was too high in nitrate for cattle feeding. And so I know with that opportunity, I interfaced with a lot of producers that really hadn't been traditional extension users.
Of course, we have a strong program here in horticulture. We have a strong program in turf grass, which is housed in our agronomy department. And in conjunction with our extension educators around the state, a lot of information targeted at homeowners went out.
You know, and then of course we put out news releases, we put out, you know, information pieces to help our educators answer questions.
We had a lot of fact sheets and newsletters that were available in a very timely way, including things like YouTube videos. So those kind of resources in combination, I think, really speak well to the ability of Purdue Extension to respond to an emerging situation that actually occurred very rapidly. One of the advantages of our extension system here at Purdue and in Indiana is the strength of our combination of a local delivery system and a campus delivery system that works together in a partnership. So we have extension educators with ag and natural resource responsibilities in each of the 92 counties, and they're able to detect what's going on locally.
I think as an extension service, Purdue did top-notch. I think that we had all the players in place from the county to the state level, as well as talking with our counterparts in neighboring states to what was going on there, We even had a good relationship with, believe it or not, from here all the way to Nebraska. They have issues with drought more often than we do.
I guess the one thing that a lot of our clientele recognizes, if there is an event that takes place, that one of the first places to go is to check with Purdue Extension about getting research-based information to make decisions.
You know, I think we reacted, you know, in the 30-some years that I've been here, I think we did as good a job responding and reacting and providing information in a timely manner as we probably ever have on any large scale.
You know, what I really thought was great, the way Purdue Extension mobilized our extension specialists and our extension educators together to get the information out to the people within our communities.
We mobilized virtually the entire College of Agriculture and Extension network this year, and we've engaged them in ways that have never been mobilized quite in that same fashion, and I'm very proud of that.